Well, I guess revenge is a dish best served cold, right? Here's the view of Conor Benn after his victory yesterday versus Chris Eubank Jr. And we're here to discuss before I even go there. Like, subscribe, share, and let's get to it. Now, Conor Benn has announced that he will be going back down to 147, and we want to know what's next for him, right? There's a lot of options. He did call out a few names, but before we get to those names, we're just going to do a little backtrack and a quick review. I really didn't want to break down the fight because I didn't watch much of it. Didn't really have interest in it, to be honest. I kind of figured it would be that way. Chris Eubank Jr. was at a disadvantage in every aspect of this fight. Wasn't the lead promoter in this. Had to come down to a weight that he barely fought at, which is 160. Had a rehydration clause. And he's actually the older man. He's 36 years old, so I wasn't expecting him to win. So now that that's done, let's check out some of the names that Conor Benn wanted to pursue in the future. Conor Benn made it clear that he still wanted to do something that his father had done, which is capture a world championship. His father said last night that, listen, the Intercontinental titles are cool, but let's go get us a world title. Now, Conor Benn let it be known that 147 is the division that he wanted to tackle. 154 is actually a dangerous division. And I feel like right now is actually a time where he actually can get a title belt. He called out a few names, so let's go to the first name that he actually called out. Well, the person who I consider to be the weakest link of the bunch. Yes, I said this man is the weakest link of the bunch. It is Mario Barrios. The WBC World Champion was the first name that Conor Benn had called out. Actually, he's been calling his name out for probably a year and a half now. He's let it be known that I don't know where Conor Benn is ranked in the WBC. I don't even think he's ranked in WBC currently. But that's the guy that he said he wanted. I think that Conor Benn could actually spark Mario Barrios. I think Mario Barrios can get sparked out by anybody. But here's the caveat. He has to fight another guy. Well, it's rumored that he'll be fighting another guy that I think it was the second name Conor Benn called out. That man being Ryan Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia is rumored to be in negotiations with Mario Barrios for the WBC title. I don't know how he gets a shot at the WBC title after losing his last fight, which was for a title. He hasn't had a fight since, so I don't know how that works. The politics of boxing are really fishy. But the Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia fight is one that I'm guessing Ben is thinking if Barrios goes up against Garcia, Garcia wins. He gets to fight Garcia. Garcia, of the two names that I just mentioned, is a big draw. So that could be a fight that Ben actually has in the U.S. Now with these two fights, Ben doesn't really have the leverage that he may have had with Chris Eubanks because these are two. One, Ryan is a bigger name in the U.S. He's a name that has been on pay-per-view. He's been in big fights, big moments. Barrios, on the other hand, is just with a promotional body that's just not going to let him just get bullied by Eddie Hearn in Matchroom. So who's the third name? Former undisputed and former junior welterweight champion Devin Haney is also being called out by Conor Benn. He said that that's a guy that he would want to fight, win or lose. It's funny, the guys that he's calling out, they were all smaller guys, and they're up to the weight class now. When guys like Stanionis and when the main guy was there, Jaron Ennis, that could have been a pay-per-view fight. He didn't want to fight Boots, but he's gunning after guys like Haney, and that's cool. These matchups are all matchups that are very winnable fights. Conor Benn is not a guy that's going to be out here. He's not going to be a world beater and just bulldozering over these guys. These are actually, starting with Devin Haney, he's actually an experienced guy. He's been in the ring with some really good competition. So let's go down to another name that he called out. And it's the guy that actually whooped on Ryan Garcia. It's Rolly Romero. This is a guy because of... We don't know what's going on with Rolly, to be honest. There's been rumors that he and Pacquiao, there was a date that was actually out there, and I was going to make a video on it. And when I got my full, information together, and I was getting ready to record it, then we heard that Rolly actually might have to fight his mandatory. I can't pronounce the guy's name. I don't want to butcher it. So the Rolly Romero Manny Pacquiao fight is, for now, is off. Money talks and bullcrap walks. So Rolly could either be fighting his mandatory, and hey, maybe a Conor Benn fight could be made. This one would be an interesting one. It might be a Ring Magazine card, and it could be, a Riyadh Season card, and it actually could end up being one that could happen in Saudi Arabia. I don't think that would happen here, but that's a matchup that could be intriguing. Rolly is the full-fledged WBA super title holder at welterweight. I screwed that up and botched it, but y'all know what I mean. So let's talk about the Destroyer, Conor the Destroyer, Ben Rah the Destroyer. So what's next? One thing I did not hear from Conor Benn, now prior to this fight, and it slated the rematch, Conor Benn did call somebody out, and I just thought it was weird because why would you want to fight this guy? He's never fought at your weight class before, so let's just revisit this. He had words for Shakur Stevenson and told Shakur Stevenson he needs to do what he did and be brave and step up 2 weight classes to actually challenge himself. Now, I don't know whoever even mentioned Shakur fighting at welterweight before. Shakur barely been at 135 pounds and actually barely fought anybody at 135 pounds. No, sir. Shakur knows that's my guy and all of that stuff. I've interviewed Shakur plenty of times, met him a bunch of times, but he's barely fought anybody at 135. Hasn't got his feet wet. We all know what fight we want to see Shakur fight, and it's definitely not no goddamn Conor Benn. We don't even want to see Shakur fight Teofimo Lopez. Nobody asked for that. But the fact that he's moving him to do it, that's cool. He hasn't even got to 140, so why are you calling Shakur out? I just thought that it was weird. The fight that I actually think that is the most lucrative fight for Conor Benn is Gervonta Davis. He doesn't have a fight. He was supposed to fight this past Friday. Due to legal concerns, he didn't get the fight. Whatever happened, like I said, everybody deserves their fair day in court, and you're innocent until proven guilty in this country. But he was even calling Tank out, and Tank has fought at 140 before, but Tank is literally 5'3", and Conor Benn is probably a good 5'6", 7 on a good day. I don't know. I don't know why he has all these problems with these super lightweights, but whatever. He's challenging super lightweights. But there's a name that he never mentioned, and that's Brian Norman Jr. Well, we have the Brian Normans, Senior and Junior, right there. I mean, he has the fight with Devin Haney, right? You called out Devin Haney, and it's not a given that Brian Norman is going to win the fight. I got the video with Devin Haney, Brian Norman, probably going to come to you tomorrow. But why not fight Brian Norman Jr.? I mean, this is a guy who actually probably will be crippled by Conor Benn in negotiations because his name doesn't hold any weight in the U.S. So you can get him back. Actually, if we're being honest, if it's not the O2, if it's not the Wembley, he could definitely sell out the O2 with Brian Norman. He's a legitimate title holder. He's had some great moments in his last 2 fights, knockout wise. He's knockout of the year category. Why not fight Brian Norman? Call Brian Norman Jr. out. I mean, he's there for the taking. The promoter that Brian Norman has beef with and could not make a fight with when it comes to my guy Boots Ennis, why not just carry that on over to Conor to Conor versus this man right here, Brian Norman? It just makes perfect sense to me. And gosh darn it, since we know we ain't gonna get Boots versus Virgil, I don't think Virgil want that work with Boots. But Conor, forget 147, man. You gonna have a built-in excuse that you took too much weight off of your body and you're not the same explosive person. 154 is a division for you. Listen, it's a big enough fight. Riyadh, you could sell it in Vegas. If the money right, I'm pretty sure Boots will go over to the UK. Call out Jerron Ennis. That's just for me. I know I don't want to see Boots fight another non-title fight at 154. But at least this will have some type of meaning behind it. I know Eddie's a little nervous. He don't want to see his guy go. But let me know what you guys think. What's next for Conor Benn? What do you guys want to see? Like, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you on another one.